Okay, so today I'm going to be listening to Ching by Per Nørgård. This is a solo percussion piece which I saw live at Western University in the context of a percussion recital. And can't remember how I got a hold of the score, but it was written in 1982, then published in 87, and this is the 2009 edition. It's a significant piece. It's like 4 movements, 25 minutes long, and it was written for Gert Mortensen. The titles of the movements here: Thunder Repeated, The Image of Shock, The Taming Power of the Small, The Gentle, The Penetrating, and Towards Completion, Fire Over Water. Your percussion list is so the way that Nørgård has it set up here is he has the list and these boxed letters representing them, and then he has like a diagram with the letters that correspond to it. This is really good practice. So large roto drum, 4-tube drums, tamburino, long metal pipe, Peking opera gong, small metal pipe, and another Peking opera gong, or no, a Peking opera block, then 2 rototoms, 4 slit drums, tuned gongs, temple cup bells, and bell tree. So a lot of like pitched and unpitched metals and like very resonant, almost pitched, like woods and membranophones. Then this is not a bird's eye view, this is a side view of the gongs. So you need like, I'll just rattle through the pitches. So for the bigger gongs, you need a set of 4, F sharp 3, G sharp 3, A sharp 3, B 3. Then you have a set of 7 medium-sized gongs, D4, E4, F sharp 4, G sharp 4, A4, A sharp 4, B 4. And then the high gongs, there should be 8 of them, D5, E5, F sharp 5, G sharp 5, A5, A sharp 5, B5, and C6. So movement 2, you need a glass bowl, a cowbell, flexitone, Indian, monochord, voice, rototrom, drum, metal pieces of gongs, and then another rototom. So the rototoms overlap, but then there's a bunch of other smaller auxiliary things. And then the third one, this is probably the most famous movement. It's for kalimba on top of timpani, and you can actually buy a kalimba made specifically for this piece. I don't know if it's off the composer's website or not. I just remember this percussionist telling me. But its tuning is on the left hand, D sharp, C sharp, B, high C sharp, E, and then low B. And then on the right hand, or the right side of the kalimba, it's E, F sharp, A, G sharp, the G sharp an octave above, A, B, and it's sort of like, I guess it's more of a zigzag pattern on the right side. So, yeah, very weird. Also, you need to put 2 temple bowls on top of the timpani. These should be pitched to E and A. So the setup looks kind of like this. I don't know if you can see this, but so that's the third movement. And then the fourth movement, again, we have the diagram thing with letters. And this setup actually has bass drum, hi-hat, Chinese and Korean gongs, vibraphone. That's our first big like mallet percussion thing. Temple blocks, Balinese or Javanese gong, mark tree. I think the first movement also had a mark tree. like seven gongs, or seven tom-toms, my mistake, and an anklung. This is vertical bamboo tubes, which are tuned in octaves. This is like really eclectic arrangement of percussion instruments from all over the world. Um, this is what the fourth movement setup looks like, according to the percussionist who premiered this. I mean, this is just an insane setup to do all these movements. I guess that's sort of what the piece is known for, though. It's like infamous for how spectacular it is, how big the setup is. Obviously, the third movement is the most performed because it's the smallest setup and it's also the most interesting setup with the little kalimba. But yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna say a few things about Nørgård and maybe something about Gert Mortensen if I can find it. Oh, I think I'll have to do this on my phone, but because I don't have any Wi-Fi on my laptop here. Per Nørgård is a Danish composer. He died very recently, actually, just this past May, and he was born in 1932. His work has a lot of different styles and periods, but there's a focus on lyricism. Julian Anderson called Nørgård's style one of the most personal in contemporary music. If you aren't familiar, Julian Anderson has written a lot about like spectralism and spectral techniques, and Nørgård is famous for his microtonal music and use of the Infinity series to generate music, so like sort of process-based stuff. And these are like spectral adjacent ideas. Yeah, just scrolling through, he has a huge body of work. I can't imagine it's all performed that much though, but one piece that I know of his, which I don't have the score for, is this orchestra piece, Voyage into the Golden Screen from 1968. I would really recommend listening to that too if you like this piece, even though it's something completely different. It's a really interesting sound world. Okay, and then Gert Mortensen. Okay, so Gert Mortensen is quite a bit younger than Per. He was born in the 50s, 1958, and he has been professor at the Royal Academy of Music in Copenhagen for the past 23 years. He's head of timpani and percussion there. So obviously a very good person to promote your work if you were a Danish composer. I'm sure Nørgård was pretty established by the time this was written, though. I'll let you know my thoughts just after this short transition. And if you'd like to listen along, there is a link to a recording in the video description, as always. Okay, so admittedly, my laptop ran out of batteries halfway through the last movement, so I just listened to the recording without the score for a while. Um, but yeah, one of the most interesting things I noticed about this score was the use of repetition, either in these small cells that transform. This idea is sort of introduced in the third movement, and also um, just in the first movement, large sections of score being repeated. I think the first movement, um, there are there's one section that's repeated three times, and then two other sections that are repeated twice, and there's the intro, and then you repeat all of that again, and then you repeat the intro again, and then there's a coda. So it's like really 4 minutes of music stretched out over like 10 minutes, and that's really weird for something that's in sort of a modernist idiom. Um, like if I tried to do that if I tried to bring that to a composition lesson, it would be, I'd get in a lot of trouble, I think. I don't think there's a lot of composers teaching modernist music who would want a student to do that. So it's pretty bold, I think. and its use of repetition. Also, it's like I can't think of another solo percussion piece which has a setup this big. And I think there's something to be said for like the big budget aspect of it. Like every most universities will have a percussion studio that is big enough to do this. But no like independent musician is going to have access to all of this stuff. So you really need to get support for a performance of this size. But it also showcases like all of the equipment you have if you're an institution. So it's really well suited to like the faculty recital kind of thing. The third movement's obviously the most original, and it's a really interesting like break in the piece that you get more like E major territory for a long time. It's as long as the first movement really, and you get it's much quieter. Like it just cannot get as loud as the other movements, so I think that's cool. The second movement is very strange. It's just so short, and noticed that there's quite a few performances online that just omit the second movement, which I think is kind of interesting. Like I don't know too much about Norgard's music, but I would imagine this is one of his most performed works. Um, so I think it's pretty successful in that sense. Okay, so on the docket next. Oh yes, of course. We're gonna look at the King of Denmark by Morten Feldman.